For the past 40 years, men have been hammered as a group with harsh judgments. Too competitive, too aggressive, too violent, too insensitive, too interested in winning. These things have been said so often that it's become commonplace to hear hatefulness expressed to men as a group and to see it on television and movies. Men are pigs became a standard, and it continues even to this day. But are these hateful judgments justified? What does science have to say about this? Biologists tell us that the vast majority of mammal and primate populations are divided by sex into choosers and competers. The choosers are the sex that puts more energy and effort into children and childbirth. They choose their mates. The other sex competes to be the mates of the choosers. They strive to be chosen. This pattern is played out repeatedly in the animal world. Take gorillas as an example. The female gorilla has more to do with children and childbirth and is the chooser. The male silverback competes to prove his worth to the female in hopes that she will choose him as her mate. The male is the competitor, the female the chooser. This pattern is seen far and wide, and biologists have also helped in identifying traits for both groups. The competitors are physically larger, more competitive, more aggressive, and more violent than the choosers. This is obviously true with the gorillas, where the male is substantially larger, necessarily more competitive, and more aggressive and violent. Of course, as a competitor, he needs these characteristics if he is to be successful in his bid to the females for reproductive access. He has to show them with brute strength that he'll be able to protect them in the jungle. Size matters. It's worth noting that the reverse sometimes happens when the male has more to do with childbirth and childcare, and guess what? In those circumstances, it's the females who are physically larger, more competitive, more aggressive, and more violent. It's not the sex. It's whether you're the chooser or the competitor. But how about human males? Are they saying that human males will be physically larger, more competitive, more aggressive, and more violent? Yes, that's exactly what they're saying. The human males will act similarly to other competitor males from various animal populations. I hope you can see the huge problem here. The very characteristics that have made males successful over thousands of years, being competitive, aggressive, or even violent when needed, have now been bizarrely reframed as being bad or even evil. Now any men who show these characteristics are seen as pigs, as all men are lumped into the same pit. You know, too competitive, too aggressive, too violent, too interested in winning, etc. Men are now in a huge double bind. Act like a man and get shamed. Or act like something you're not and get shamed. Maybe a cartoon can explain it. Here are two female bighorn sheep talking about their mates who, by the way, they were initially attracted to because they had really big horns and were fearless headbutters. Ewe number 1. I'm so tired of him only butting heads with other rams all day and all night. All he thinks about is the size of his horns. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Rams are such pigs. Yeah, that's it. Rams are pigs. How about you? Have you fallen for the men are pigs lies? Do you hold harsh judgments about men as a group? It's time we started loving people for who they are, and let's not forget, men are good.